Okay, so here we go. The Quest for Junior, starring Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Sue. Why is the last one not Stinky? I don't know. Here we go. Okay, starting off well here. Why don't we talk about the San Francisco 49ers? I've been a fan of the San Francisco 49ers since I was little. My dad was a Raiders fan, having grown up in the Bay Area. Then the Raiders got moved to LA, so my dad was like, forget it. I'm not a Raiders fan anymore. We're now 49er fans. And that was right in time for the first Super Bowl with Joe Montana, and that began a lifelong obsession with the Niners. I was a little spoiled in the 80s. Niners were always in contention, and we won 4 Super Bowls. Then we also won one in the early 90s. That was a hard year, though, with Joe Montana still being an active quarterback in the NFL, and we were going all the way with Steve Young. It was all right, but wanted to win with Joe Montana. He was football god. In fact, even though everybody agrees that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time, still got to kind of put your digs in there for Joe Montana, being a loyal Niners fan. You still got to be willing to fight about it too. So if that ever comes up in discussion, I remember one time I went out on a marketing trip I was in home loans at the time, and I was going around to different real estate agents trying to, get some business going. Yes, here we go. Oh, we got to be quiet for the Act 1. Yes. So anyway, I was going around marketing, and there was a broker that I knew. He was the father of a guy I played basketball with, and I thought, well, maybe he'll, throw some business my way. So I went to his office, sat down, we were talking, and looked at his wall. And he had on his wall a 3-time Joe Montana plaque. And it was pretty cool, but I was like, 3-time, okay, because Joe Montana won 4 Super Bowls, so obviously this was an old plaque. And I said, Joe Montana fan, huh? And I thought, great, we're going to get along well. And he goes, well, I'm more a Steve Young fan. And I'm like, what? Part of me is just like, are you kidding me? How can you prefer Steve Young over Joe Montana? I said, why is that? And I knew the family was a Mormon family. I said, because of BYU. I didn't want to say, because you're LDS, but I said, because of BYU. And he goes, no, I just really think Steve Young was a superior quarterback. And I was just like, I can't sit in this office another second. What are you talking about? I wanted to call him a liar, but what are you going to do? So I just sat there and discussed. I don't even remember how the rest of the visit went, but it was just, if it had been any other situation, we would have got into it. But I had to let it go because I was hopeful he would throw some business my way with customers needing, home loans. I don't think he ever did, actually. So I should have just gone toe to toe with him right there and called him out. But yeah. You have to be willing to fight to defend Steve Young. I was spoiled with the Niners because it seemed like they had every, most amazing player per position ever on their team at one time. I can go down the list, but we had Tom Rathman, best fullback ever. We had Roger Craig, who was the first running back ever to have 1,000-yard rushing and 1,000-yard receiving season. No other running back had ever done that. Oh man, this getting complicated. You got to make these guys follow you around the board here. It's the only way to get through this board. You got to try to get them to follow you. That way you can get the rest of these pellets. Anyway, we also had Ronnie Lott, who, if there was never a better safety than Ronnie Lott, that guy was a beast. Sometime go on the internet and pull up Ronnie Lott's greatest hits. You can find it on YouTube. Oh, here we go. Got to be quiet for this. All right. So Ronnie Lott one time broke his finger, like the tip of his finger, and they were like, "You're going to have to get a surgery and you're going to be out some games." And I was like, "Oh, what if we just cut it off, the tip of my finger?" And like, "Well, then you can keep playing, I guess." So he was like, "Cut it off." So they cut off the tip of his finger so he wouldn't miss a game. Can you imagine anyone doing that nowadays? No. Nowadays, players, well, they're still amazing players. Some of them are a little soft. Guys used to play through things like broken bones. They would play through it. My leg's fractured. Oh, well, I'm going to keep playing. Nowadays, it's like, nope, shut them down for the season. Or even the NBA, you have, game load. They've played too many games. They have to take a break. What? They're getting millions of dollars. They can play one game a night. Not a big deal. Anyway, this is the hardest level for me. Dang it! So Ronnie Lott was amazing. We had Jerry Rice, who arguably was the greatest football player ever. And Jerry Rice and Joe Montana played on the same team at the same time. Same with Ronnie Lott. Same with Tom Rathman. We had these guys who were just the greatest of all time, all on the same team at the same time. That's how we won, 5 Super Bowls in the 80s and early 90s. My kids have never seen the Niners win a Super Bowl. They've seen them go to 3 Super Bowls and lose. Unreal. We don't lose Super Bowls. Come here, banana. I'm getting this banana. Oh, yeah, $5,000. Woohoo! We don't lose Super Bowls, but I guess you could say, no, actually we do. We lost 3 of them. So it's December 27th or 26th right now? I can't remember which. 27th. And we're hopeful that the Niners this year can put together a Super Bowl team through a broken season. We've lost a lot of players. We lost Bosa. We lost Warner. But we've still managed to have a winning record, and we're in the playoffs. If we could get to a Super Bowl this year, oh man, that would be incredible. But the road goes through Seattle. We got to play Seattle. We got to beat Seattle. I'm thinking we're probably going to have to beat them twice. We're probably going to face them in the playoffs. We have to face them in the last game of the regular season. And then we'll face them in the playoffs probably. I have a really good buddy who was a Seahawk fan. I know, how can I have a really good buddy who's a Seahawk fan? I know, it's ridiculous, but Russ is a good guy. He's a diehard Seahawk fan. I mean, he's not just a little bit of a Seahawk fan, he's a diehard Seahawk fan. So I have to give it to him. But it's going to get a little ugly here. Years ago, Russ and I had a pact that if either of our teams made the Super Bowl, then we had to travel to the other person's house and watch the Super Bowl. So in 2006 or 7, when they made it, I went all the way down to Russ's house. He lived in Fresno, and watched the Super Bowl. Then his team went like 2 more times. So I went to his house 3 times for a Super Bowl. Then he came to my house for 2 of my Niners Super Bowls. And then the last time the Niners got to the Super Bowl, he just pretended like the pack didn't even matter. Like, no, I'm not coming. Like, what? Okay, I know I moved to Idaho, but get on a plane and get here. A pact's a pact. Anyway, he didn't, and I'm still heartbroken about it, so that's why I'm giving him a little business here on the YouTube video. If you ever had a friend just betray you like that, put it in the comments. I want to see. What happened to you? Did you have a sports pact with a friend and he just broke your heart? Tell me about it. So anyway, back to the Niners. I'm just hopeful that we can get off the losing Super Bowl side of things and we can make it right this year. We will see if it can happen. I'm thinking it can because we have such low expectation. We're like the underdog. Oh man. Yes! This is the first time I've ever gotten this far. Junior! You saw it here, folks. Now, I've rarely ever played this board, so I'm probably not going to do very well. Oh, man. And the thing about all those good players like Ronnie Lott, Jerry Rice, Roger Craig, and all those guys, John Taylor, they had just unreal work ethics. I remember seeing an interview with Joe Montana about Jerry Rice, and they said, do you think Jerry Rice was obsessed with football? He said, obsessed? I think that's an understatement. There's stories about Jerry Rice out on the practice field after a playoff loss the next day. Thanks for watching my videos. I'm probably going to die here in a second, so feel free to come back and tune in and watch me try to beat my high score and other games as well.